Good afternoon and welcome to Money Control. I'm Karunya. With me is Manisha Gupta, and we're here to give you an update on commodities. All eyes today on crude oil prices, which fell 8% overnight. What caused that?
And 3-month lows right now. And this is the first time that you saw closing come below $100 a barrel as well. So that should be good on charts, right? But that is not what the analysts are telling you. They're saying that these are aberrations, these are knee-jerk reactions. But will the crude prices really fall off from here? That is not going to really happen. Because, when chartists start to look at crude prices, they feel it's come to 100, 95, 92 could be the next levels. But the experts in crude say that is not how it is going to be, because there are supply concerns, whether you see it from the Russian point of view, where there are sanctions, or you look at OPEC. And when you look at various OPEC members as well, the gas concerns, non-availability of it are some of the factors which will keep it supported. But the trigger last night clearly was China yet again. But the good thing there as well is earlier they were shutting off cities. The whole Shanghai and Shenzhen was being shut. But now it is only some regions, some small pockets where they have found COVID positives. So we do understand that 30 million residents in China are going to be impacted with the latest measures in sense of restrictions there. But that's still very
Small number.
than what China really has been doing.
So you were talking about chartists. So let's say it continues to hover around that $100 per barrel mark. What are they predicting? What are some levels that one can keep an eye out for on the downside and on the upside?
So we started this year with 78, and we've seen an intraday, a blink of eye, up to 123, 124 on the higher side as well. But if you notice in the last few days, we've seen this range actually continue to narrow. So we haven't seen 125, we haven't seen levels much below 95 as well. So what we are looking at right now is a range between perhaps 98 on the lower side, 95 even, but on the higher side, 105, 110 is what you are looking at. So the range is narrowed and it is still slightly on the higher side. And, this quarter also has hurricane season. There is a bit of a demand concern, yes. But when you look at the Asian markets, the Chinese are buying a lot of crude from Russia at a much discounted space. The incremental gain that we've seen in demand has come in from India, the best of it actually. And even as these higher prices, we haven't seen a demand destruction for Asia at least. So whether it has been the month of April, May or June, where we actually saw very strong imports come in, India actually is still buying, still consuming, still vacationing, still driving around.
But still nobody is reducing our fuel prices. Will it happen or no?
Well, that's a big question, and I'm not the right person to answer it. But I can tell you one thing, that if you're waiting for the crude prices to just fall off the cliff because it's come below 100, that is not going to happen.
But is it also a case of traders selling bullish positions right now? Is it some profit taking that's happening as well?
It clearly is, yes. And, when you look at the FAR months, from a very strong, a backwardation at one point in time, that really seems to be improving right now. So the FAR months are slightly on the higher side at this point in time because the fears are not off the market. We still are looking at supply concerns here. Unless something really huge happens, which is very bearish for the prices, you do not expect the prices to come off because the basic fundamentals haven't changed so much. Another important thing to watch out for this week is going to be the US President Biden visiting Saudi Arabia. I mean, this has been long coming. This is finally happening in this week. What is that conspires between them? Conversation, any statements?
Anything on agenda that we know of?
Nothing as of now, but we do know on agenda is the conversation about the crude supplies, that OPEC should be increasing it. But OPEC is not able to keep the quota that they have been releasing as well. So what goes on between the two of them is going to be very interesting to watch out for all oil watchers across the world.
What is the inventory situation right now, US or the big consumers as we speak?
So inventories are comfortable because initially the markets were concerned that once Russia goes out of the market would be concerning. But we do understand that two major importers in Asia, India and China, are getting it enough from Russia, the largest ever. And that is something that the US perhaps would also want to have a conversation about. So as far as inventories go, while there are supply concerns, but there is availability, and there is availability, if not on lower levels from Russia, at higher levels at least.
So demand and supply seem to be okay right now. But of course, this meeting of the US president with Saudi Arabian leaders will be an important one to watch out for.
And it's all about macros as well, Karunya, because even if we watch supply and demand situation, the pessimism, the sentiment has been on the weaker side. The sell-off in equities, the strength in US dollar, the fact that we are waiting for the US inflation data to come in today, and you have Chinese house prices, export numbers, trade data coming in this week as well. So the next 2 days are going to be very eventful.
Absolutely. And of course, as always, we will be on top of it and get you the updates as and when things do occur. With that, we're going to wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back again at 1 o'clock tomorrow.